Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi, Senior News Editor with Retail Insider. Joining me today is Nicole Matos, who is President of the Rivet Group of Companies and founder of Oonnie. She was a guest speaker at the recent inaugural Small Business Summit in Calgary, put on by Square, Interact, and the Calgary Sports and Entertainment Group. Thanks for joining us today, Nicole.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, we're not going to talk about construction, but we're going to talk a little bit about retail and kind of goes together in some ways. Tell me, first of all, about Oonnie. I see the background there, but tell me what Oonnie is and does.
Yeah, Oonnie is it's an online marketplace. So think like a farmer's market where you get all that local great food, but it's all online. So you get that convenience of shopping for your groceries online, but it's all the great goodness of local made food.
And when did this idea start?
Well, it started during COVID, kind of right around the time when all the grocery shelves were bare. I'm an Indigenous woman, so I instantly thought it wouldn't be a big deal. I could just go back to how things were growing up when we just got our food from neighbors and food that we had produced ourselves. But now I live in the city and it was not quite so easy. So then I realized other people were probably having the same struggles that I was. And that's kind of how the idea came to life. And we actually just officially launched, had our soft launch this summer.
Oh, okay, super then. And what is the reach of Oonnie?
So far it's just kind of lightly through the Calgary Edmonton zone, and then hoping to like reach out through the Alberta, shortly here.
Okay, super. Well, let's talk about the recent Small Business Summit, first one that was held here in Calgary. Your topic was ingredients to being an entrepreneur, and there were three things there. We're going to talk about each one separately that was mentioned. The first one was collaboration. Tell me what that what that means and why that's important for someone who wants to be a small business owner.
Yeah, I think with Rivet, I started Rivet back in 2009, but I think it took me a while to learn that. I think I felt like I had to wait till I was successful to kind of put myself out there in the world. Nobody wanted to hear from somebody that didn't already have success. And I learned very quickly that actually the best thing to do is actually get out and know people and talk to people, and people are excited to share what they know with you and help you and talk, and it's exciting to do that for people and to feel like you give back, which is what I like to do now, right? So and for instance, even with Oonnie, coincidentally enough, when I put out a posting looking for someone, the person who works closest with me with Oonnie is somebody that I did a project with Rivet probably about 8 years ago. She had a business doing art, and she had her own business that was very successful and, does projects all across Canada. And, my construction business was doing projects all across Canada, and now we're doing Oonnie together. So it's like, that is the joy of collaboration, is you never know how these things come around.
And I guess when you're talking about a collaboration, one of the keys there is seeking out people with expertise in certain areas that you may not have that expertise, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Like one of the things, I can't remember who told me this at one point in time, but they said, when you come across something you don't know how to do, it's not trying to figure out how to do something, it's trying to figure out who knows how to do what you are trying to figure out how to do, right? Because somebody likely knows how to do it really well, right? And connecting with them is key, right?
Yeah, exactly. Now, second ingredient listed was problem solving. Why is this so important? Well, it's pretty self-evident why it's important, but talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think, problem solving. If you're an entrepreneur, like, let's face it, I mean, one of the big problems is always like cash, right? Cash is king. You learn that fast. And the reality is there's never enough cash. So you can't just go out and hire someone or throw cash on to solve all your problems. So, one of our, big values is, do what you can with what you have, and the best way you can. So you've got to be creative and figure out how to solve your problems. So dig in and find a way, and some of the best, most creative solutions usually come out of that. So yeah, I think that that is the key. Just trying to find a unique way. You might not be able to find it the perfect way, but you'll find a way to do something.
Yeah,
So
and the
yeah.
third quality or ingredient, we can term it as tenacity. And oh my, I think in the last couple of years, if you're a business owner of any kind, you've got to be a tenacious type person to get through what everybody has gone through these last few days. How do you get tenacity? How
Oh
does
yeah. I
that,
mean,
is it like a magic drink that you?
no, I think you just gotta not give up. I mean, I regularly joke that Aaron Brockovich is my hero. I mean, maybe not in the wardrobe side and maybe not in the language side, but that just don't give up, just push through. You take your kicks, you take your licks, but you just, kind of have a 2-second pity party and then keep going, right? Um,
Yeah,
Everybody, even the biggest giants out there, they've been told no, they've been kicked, they've had some of the biggest kicks out there, right? And the only thing different between them and us is just that they didn't stop when they got kicked, right?
yeah.
So, keep going.
Well, and you know what, how, I don't know, how long have you been, say, an entrepreneur?
I started Rivet in 2009.
So
So
2009, so you're looking at about 13 years.
yeah, almost 14. Yeah.
Do- How do you, develop that uh, tenacity? Is it something that is God given in some ways, or is it something that you really have to work on to get it?
I think it's just a mindset. I don't think it's something you're given. I think it's just something, I mean, if you don't have it yesterday, you decide you have it today, right? I mean, I came from a family, we didn't have a lot. I mean, to be honest, I grew up in a house, we literally had mushrooms growing in the carpet of our living room. We didn't have a lot. I didn't get, my parents would have loved to give us help. They would have loved to help us so much more in this life, right? But they just didn't have the resources to do so. And I was committed that I was gonna find my way, right? So yeah, that was it. Like my big goal in life was to own a house. Well, I did that at 18, like I was going to do that. And so
Yeah,
you just decide. So if you don't have it yesterday, decide today, I'm going to make a change, right?
yeah. I guess you only get it through the experience, right? Um, because each experience builds on that, right? And gives you the opportunity to learn and develop that skill, I guess.
Yeah, well, I was a retail. The funny thing is I was a retail ops manager for a store, and then one day I was like, I'm gonna be a construction project manager, and then I literally like decided that morning I was gonna go and apply for jobs, and I did. Right? It wasn't like a big magical moment, right? It was just a decision in the time. So I think that, and then all those skills that I had, in one job are still skills I have, right? And then those skills I have are going to help me with this retail endeavor, right? So, yeah, I think every skill you have and every experience you have is just a growing ball of experience. It helps you always. So,
Mhm. So
yeah.
I'm just curious, and Nicole, when you participated in that recent small business summit, obviously there was a lot of people in that industry, their industry. I meant in terms of being entrepreneurs and being small business owners. What was the mood that you sensed from that? Obviously, coming from 2.5 years of craziness, I guess.
Oh, I honestly, I got like basically those ingredients that we were talking about. Like there was tenacity, right? Like all these business owners, there was people who were in like the hospitality, these chefs and stuff, and who didn't have a harder time, right? And they were like, no, we're gonna do this. And there was collaboration. They're like, we're here to help. We're here to like share our experience and let's figure out what we can do together. And like we even shared, contact information with some of these people to see like what can we do together and how can we connect and how can we do these things. And all of that was there. So there was definitely this whole like we're not going to sit down, right? We're going to
Yeah.
to think of new things we're going to do. And there was definitely resiliency there, right? So and even with like Square and with the the sports group, and everybody was just there, like they were like, here's tools, here's how we're going to help, and everybody was just like very collaborative in that sense, right? So
Yeah. Okay, super. What do you think you learned in the past 2.5 years as a business person? What was the key lesson you think you've learned?
I'm going to be just fine no matter what. No matter what, like no matter what you throw at me, like it's kind of like those trees in the forest get knocked down, and then another tree just grows out of it. I'll be fine. It'll be good.
And what's your advice for people who may want to start up a business, may want to start up a restaurant, a clothing store, etc.?
um Listen to people, be willing to learn. Like no's don't mean no, but they still might mean listen and learn.
Yeah.
Right? So like there's a difference between not hearing no but hearing advice, right? So knowing the difference. So when someone says no, take it as, okay, this might not be no, but there might be a lesson to be learned here about how I should adapt and how I might need to learn a lesson here. And then there's a very big difference between those two things.
Yeah. Okay, super then. Anything else before we leave, Nicole, that you'd like to add?
Not that I can think of. I'm just loving being here.
All right, super. Thanks, Nicole, for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Mario.
All right, that was Nicole Matos, who is president of the Rivet Group of Companies and founder of Oonnie. She was also a guest speaker at the recent inaugural Small Business Summit in Calgary, put on by Square, Interact, and Calgary Sports and Entertainment Group. I'm Mario Toneguzzi, senior news editor at the Retail Insider. Thanks for joining us today.